Well, I feel like I just hit the lottery. Welcome back to Shawnee Hills Workshop. So the other day, my daughters were walking the trail that goes around the perimeter of the property, and they came home and told me that there was a whole lot of water down by the doghouse. And the doghouse is what we refer to as the pump house for the barn. And sure enough, I came back here and there was a leak inside. The pump house was full and the just leaking everywhere, and so I shut the water off. And as you can tell, this is greatly overgrown here. It is on our list of things to clean up and to rebuild. We're wanting to actually build a large enough pump house that you can walk into, but like many things on a homestead, it is not at the top of the priority list right now, as it just supplies water for the barn. Now this was unusual. You know, I've had water issues in the winter time due to pipes freezing, but not in the summertime typically. And it appeared to me like the leak was coming from, oh, right there it is on the black pipe. All right, well, I'm going to take this apart and see if I can't go to town and get some parts to fix it. This well used to serve the barn, the house, and the little house up front. Now it just serves the barn and the little house. There's still a valve to switch it to turn it on to the house in case city water goes out, but I added city water to the house. Unfortunately, you know, we water our garden with the water from the little house because it's right beside it, and for the last few days we've had to be running several lengths of hose from the house to be able to water the garden. So this is where the failure was at, where the black pipe hooks on there. It was just a little split, but I ripped it off, twisting all this off. There was no union in there. And there's a nipple, and then a reducer, and then a 90 right there. So I'm going to replace all this up to the 90, and I don't know why you had a hose bib on there. I don't need a hose bib in there, so I'm going to be removing that. It's just, this is what happens when you buy an older property. You know, we bought a really old homestead because that's all we could afford, honestly. The house was in disrepair and shambles. The barn was in disrepair. The entire property was in disrepair, but we're putting it back together just a little bit at a time. So what I will probably do is I'll probably have a union and then go to about a 9-inch nipple or so, maybe a little bit longer, and then see if I can't find a splice kit for that hose, or I may just cut the hose shorter and attach it there. But we'll see what they have at our local farm supply store. Actually, probably go to Rural King. I need to get some dog food and a few other things anyway, so some Diet L8. I'm running low. Well, I feel like I just hit the lottery. I left Rural King and I decided I was going to swing by Lowe's to see if they had any deck boards. And they had several, I guess, ricks full of each size. I was excited, so I hurried up and loaded up. And it was funny, as I was leaving, there were 3 trucks with trailers in a line waiting to get to them. So I've been kind of at a standstill on the treehouse. There's some little things that I could be working on, but I can't finish the deck on the 2nd story until I got some more deck boards, and I can't even begin to think about the 3rd story until I had some deck boards. And they've just been impossible to find. It's just not an option to find them. So I was so happy to pull in there and find some and pick them up. So that's a win right there. So I swung by Rural King. I got the parts to fix the pump house. I'm going to go to the house. It's about lunchtime, so I'm going to eat some lunch, and then we will see if we can't get that pump house fixed and get some water flowing in the barn. So I picked up some hose and some barb fittings, and I'm just going to go ahead and put those in, try to make up as much as I can here in the barn before I go out to the pump house. Just that way I don't have to worry about dropping things. It's just a more controlled environment. Don't have the sun beating down on me. And I'm pretty much eliminating all that pipe you saw that I took off earlier and a little bit more. I'm just going to run a hose from the splice up to the first 90 degrees, maybe even further if I can. So we'll just see how far I can take it. I bought a 3/4 inch to 5/8 inch barb fitting. That way I can eliminate all the reduction that they did here. They went from 3/4 down to 1/2 inch, and then to the barb fitting from 1/2 inch to the 5/8 inch barb fitting. And so now I'll just be able to go straight to the 3/4 inch pipe. I bought some of these stainless steel hose clamps to put on, as on the old ones, some of the old ones were rusted and about never got them off. So got some stainless steel hose clamps. I'm going to go take some tools down with me and see if we can't take the pipe as far back as we can and put this one in and eliminate some fittings and get the water back running again. I'm looking forward to having some water here in the barn and also being able to water the garden again. There it goes. Oh, that's good. That's real good.
That must have hurt your leg.
It hurt a little bit, but that's all right. What do you think, Bob?
Now we can finally wash our hands.
It felt good running some cold water over my head. It is hot out there, and it's hot inside the barn here as well. But there is something that I really want to point out that happened today, and it happens often, and you know, I'm constantly learning and constantly trying to remind myself. So when we first got everything put back together, it wasn't turning on. And I could go out there and I could force the, I could jump the pump and it would run and act like it was building pressure, but there was no water flow. So I had turned the shutoff on and off a couple times, thinking maybe it was stuck. It wasn't. And as I was coming back up to check something up here at the house again, or at the barn, Braden said, what about the blue one? And I came close to, just writing them off and, just saying, uh-huh. And I thought, well, I'm gonna go see what he's talking about. And sure enough, there are two shutoffs. I don't know why there's two in a row. I don't know if one went bad and so the previous owner put another in, but I was so focused on what I was doing, I never turned to look to my side. I was just, working that shutoff. And I flipped that shut off, and that's the one I had shut off before. So the water came on and we're good to go. And that's happened several times in the past. Lots of times a child can be sitting on the outside with a complete different perspective, sometimes the whole picture, because they're back looking at you where you're right in focused on what you're doing. So it's always important to listen to your children, and they're not always going to be right. Sometimes it is just going to be something that doesn't matter, but always listen to them. They're human beings just like us. If you like this kind of video, click that thumbs up button. And if you don't like it, like I always say, click the thumbs down, leave me a comment telling me why you don't like it. I'm always trying to improve. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd love to have you. Click that subscribe button. And if you'd like to get notified every time I put out a new video, just click the bell icon. We'll see you next time.